Good evening and namaste to everyone, dear students and others. You all are welcome to the Genius Lakshya. In the series of revision from the Indian polity, we will understand the importance of special officer for linguistic minorities. The function of special officer, why do we have special officer in our country? What is the objective of the special officer? What do they do exactly? And why only for linguistic minorities? So these are some of the important aspects of discussion of the day, and we will understand the topic in detail. Before that, I would like to introduce the topic in a way that India is a country where hundreds of languages are there, and actually, this is a country with thousands of languages and dialects. And the evolution of a language is a great process, and preservation, protection, and maintenance of the languages are very, very important. But in due course of time, it has been seen that many languages, especially the languages in rural areas, in dialects, in tribal languages, have started vanishing from our country. So, to preserve, to protect, to honor the language, we have special officer for minorities. They are appointed to protect the language. So let's understand the topic. Still you have any doubts and queries, you can write me in my email ID rohitsika at geniusschool.co.in. So let me share the presentation of the day. Constitutional provisions. What provisions are there in our country for the protection of the languages? Originally, the Constitution of India did not make any provision with respect to the special officer for linguistic minorities. But yes, gradually, the States Reorganization Commission 1953 to 55 made a recommendation in this regard. Accordingly, the Seventh Constitutional Amendment Acts of 1956 inserted a new article, that is 350B, in Part 17 of the Constitution. This article contains the following provisions. There should be a special officer for linguistic minorities according to Article 350B, and the special officer should be appointed by the President of India. It would be the duty of the special officer to investigate all matters relating to safeguards provided for linguistic minorities under the Constitution. He would report to the President upon those matters as such intervals as the President may direct. The President should, should place all such reports before each house of the Parliament and send to the government of the states concerned. It must be noted here that the Constitution does not specify the qualifications, the tenure, the salaries, and allowances, service conditions, and procedure for removal of the special officer for linguistic minorities. Commission for Linguistic Minorities, in pursuance of provision of Article 350B of the Constitution, the office of the Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities was created in 1957. He is designated as the Commissioner for Linguistic Minorities. The Commissioner has his headquarters at Allahabad in Uttar Pradesh. He has three regional offices at Belgaum, Karnataka, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, Kolkata, West Bengal. Each is headed by an assistant commissioner. The commissioner is assisted at headquarters by a deputy commissioner and as an assistant commissioner. The commissioner maintains liaison with the state government and union territories through nodal officers appointed by them. At the central level, the commissioner falls under the Ministry of Minority Affairs. Hence, he submits the annual report or other reports to the president through the Union Minority Affairs Minister. The commissioner takes up all the matters pertaining to the past grievances arising out of the non-implementation of the constitutional and nationally agreed scheme safeguards provided to linguistic minorities that come to its knowledge by the linguistic minority individuals, group, associations, organizations at the highest political and administrative level of the state government and union territories, administration and recommendation, remedial actions to be taken. To promote and preserve linguistic minority groups, the Ministry of Minority Affairs has requested the state governments and all the union territories to give wide publicity to the constitutional safeguards provided to linguistic minorities and take necessary administrative measures. The state government and union territories administrations were urged to accord priority to the implementation of the scheme of safeguard for linguistic minorities. The commissioner launched a 10-point program to lend fresh impetus to governmental efforts towards the prevention of the language and culture of linguistic minorities. The functions and objective of the linguistic minorities officer special officer. In more details, the functions and objective of the commissioners are as follows. To investigate all matters related to safeguards provided to the linguistic minorities, to submit to the President of India the reports on the status of implementation of the constitutional and nationally agreed safeguards for linguistic minorities, to monitor the implementation of safeguards through questionnaires, visits, conferences, seminars, meetings, review mechanism, and the objective of special officer for the linguistic minorities are to provide equal opportunities to the linguistic minorities for inclusive development and national integration, to spread awareness amongst linguistic minorities about the safeguards available to them, to ensure effective implementation of the safeguard provided for linguistic minorities in the Constitution and other safeguards which are agreed to by the states and union territories, to handle representation for redress of grievances related to the safeguards for linguistic minorities. So this is the end of the presentation. We discussed linguistic minorities, the objective, the function of these linguistic minorities. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.